Hi, Tony. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mandy.
Our first question, our first question is from Justin Schlegel from 98 Rock, Baltimore. Justin?
Tony, good evening. Congratulations on another amazing pay-per-view.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to talk about something very briefly from Wednesday Night Dynamite that people are still talking about even with the pay-per-view tonight, and that was the promo that we saw from the Bastard Pack. That sounds like he might be finally coming out of exile. And with so many great new storylines tonight with the Young Bucks getting the championships, as well as Darby Allin becoming the TNT champion, as you look forward to 2021, do you see some of your foreign wrestlers that unfortunately were some of the initial victims of this pandemic finally being able to be folded back in, namely Pat, namely some of the Joshi finally being able to make their way overseas and back to Daly's place where they can be reintegrated into the roster?
I've been hopeful for a long time. The issue is sometimes for people who live overseas that when they get back, they have to quarantine upon arrival, which is totally understandable. And that's been the issue for a long time. And I'm really excited to get all of those people back, Pac included, whenever it's possible. And whenever he's coming back, I think people are going to have to stay tuned. I'm really excited for Pac and a lot of our other international stars coming back. He's one of the best wrestlers we have for sure. And I think it's a testament to the depth we have on the roster that we've been able to put on great shows like tonight without him and some of the great wrestlers we've been missing, such as some of the Joshi like Riho and Yuka Sakazaki. Thanks.
Thanks, Tony. Next question is from Bill Pritchard from WrestleZone. Bill?
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Quite well, thanks, man.
So I wanted to kind of go off of something that John just mentioned about the current climate affecting your ability to tell longer term stories. And if you look at the pay-per-view calendar from now and then Revolution, it's almost 4 months away. So it's not, it's not the nice, even quarterly event that we're kind of used to. So are you going to do anything like you did last year with a Bash at the Beach style?
We are. It's what a great question, Bill. You've teed up news that I'm going to break. There's going to be Beach Break in January, and in December we've got some huge events coming up also, and Dynamites and the ones coming up are going to be huge too. So we've got a really big slate of Dynamites coming up and some big events. I think in December we'll see some of our biggest shows we've done, and I think in January Beach Break will be a great event. So that's very much a good question that you asked.
Thanks. Next question is from Emily Pratt from Fanbyte Media. Emily Pratt.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, Emily, can we give it a shot, Emily?
Emily, you need to unmute yourself.
Do we lose Emily? Is Emily there?
Yeah, we can come back to Emily.
Okay.
In a second.
Great.
Okay. Next up is we've got Sean Leolos from CBR. Sean.
Hey, Tony, congratulations on another great show.
Thanks, Sean. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you, man.
I was, your champion so far, you've seen people like Jericho, you've seen people like Moxley, you've seen Cody, Brody Lee. These are people who've had a lot of success at other companies. Tonight, Darby Allin won the TNT title, and he might be you guys' first true homegrown talent to win a championship. And I mean, that's got to seem very, very awesome to see how people are reacting to it. Talk a little bit about Darby coming up and becoming possibly you guys' first big championship breakout that you created with your company.
I'm a huge fan of Darby. I think it was very appropriate that the fourth match between Cody and Darby here in AEW was this championship win for Darby, because Darby's debut here came against Cody. Our executive vice presidents do a great job scouting people and bring them up to our attention. And Cody wanted to work with Darby from the beginning. And I was very, very up for it and was excited to sign Darby to a multi-year deal. And then quickly, when I saw what what value adds to this company, I extended it. So Darby signed here for many, many years to come. Because after the match he had with Cody, I realized that Darby's going to be a huge, huge star. I saw he had potential, but I had no idea until Fighter Fest in Daytona 2019 in the summer. And so I really, really believe in Darby. And I think everybody, our fans and everybody here in the company believes in him, wrestlers and our staff and our executives alike, and myself, is booking the company. And so I've really, really tried to build Darby strong. It's crazy because yesterday marks 6 months since the build of Team Taz versus Darby started. So I thought it was really fitting that he won the match, and then that story is continued. Because Taz and Darby, and also fitting because it was after the third Cody Darby match, which was the semifinals of the TNT title tournament, that Darby kind of had a beef set up with Taz because Taz tried to impart some advice to Darby that Darby didn't want, and then Taz kind of condescended to Darby, and Darby pointed out to Taz, if anybody remembers, it was 6 months ago yesterday, that Darby was a very accomplished amateur wrestler, so he didn't need Taz's condescending advice, and that led to the casino ladder match. We saw Darby bring in we saw Taz bring in Brian Cage to stop Darby from winning the casino ladder match, took out Darby, and this whole thing's taken a lot of twists and turns. Moxley and of course now Ricky Starks got involved, and we've done so much to try and make Darby special. I think if you look at all the great video packages he's put together, he's a really creative person. He's a brilliant talent. He's he's a crazy stunt man, but he's also just such a great wrestler who's got such great star power and charisma. And he's a really gifted filmmaker, and that's pretty cool. And I thought it was really just a great coronation, and the whole thing came off excellent. And credit to Cody for everything he's done, and really everybody here, the coaching staff, the EVPs have done a lot to try and develop Darby. Like you said, I feel like he's his own man. I mean, we didn't, he made himself a star, and that's the most important thing. And he's just a really tremendous person to work with. I talk to him pretty much every day, which is funny because I say this all the time. I don't think there's anybody I have less in common with than Darby. And I just really enjoy working with him. I've really bonded with him personally. I think he's somebody that's really the future here. And it was just a great match tonight, which is another great match in the series with Darby and Cody. It's a great rivalry, and I thought it was really fitting because we started 2020 January 1st here at Daly's Place with the second match, and through the pandemic, they've provided both of them individually some of the best matches we've had in AEW since then, and I think tonight that was really great. So thanks for asking, because I'm glad to have a chance to talk about Darby because I think he's really special.
Thanks, Tony. We're going to try Emily Pratt again. Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Can we help her out, Robin? Sorry, Emily. We're really trying here.
Hi,
Yeah.
can you?
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
hey. I heard somebody that wasn't
hi,
me.
am I good? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Hey.
Hi, Tony. So we saw some cameos from Hurricane Helms and Gangrel this evening. Are there any plans for them to show up in AEW in the future?
I'm not sure. You never know. To be honest, I don't have either of them booked on anything in the next loop or in the immediate future, but I'm also really open to both of them coming back. And I was at the compound for the deletion producing the match, and I spent time with both guys. I've known Shane for a while, and I had never met Gangrel before, and I really enjoyed spending time with both guys, and I'd love to see both of them come back at some point. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Sure.
Next up is Chris Mueller from Bleacher Report. Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great, man.
Yep.
Excellent. So we saw Don Callis tonight, and he was there for the Kenny Omega match. is that something that we can expect more of in the future to see Don on the show, or was that just a one-time thing for Kenny?
It was definitely something I did for Kenny, and I put it together with Impact and agreed for Don to come. He's an executive there. I'd love to have Don back in the future, and I'm open to working with people, as I think we've demonstrated multiple times that AEW is probably the most friendly major company, definitely right now. We've got good partnerships, and we've done things with AAA and the NWA with championships. Of course, Kenny Omega is the AAA mega champion. The Lucha Brothers are the AAA tag team champions, and then Serena Deeb is the NWA women's champion, and they're all under contract here. So I love working with other companies, and you never know. So I'd be open to Don coming back. That's definitely possible. You did a great job tonight on commentary. I thought it was a great match, and it was great to have Don here. And he's called a lot of great Kenny matches, and he called another one tonight.
Thanks, Tony. Next up is Stephanie Chase from Digital Spy. Stephanie?
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Quite well. Thanks for asking.
Okay, well, congratulations on another fantastic pay-per-view. In 2020, you've presented your first full year of pay-per-views. So as we move into 2021, are you looking to expand on that, or do you think it's a good number and they're well enough spaced out for you to tell the stories that you want to?
I love our big four shows. I think having Revolution, Double or Nothing, All Out, and Full Gear as the big shows spaced out through the year, the big four, really provides anticipation. And then Dynamite, we have huge episodes of Dynamite, special events within Dynamite, but a lot of the episodes and cards we have are huge draws and have been huge successes. So I think we have got a great lineup. We're going to add a third hour of television in addition to, trying to develop and utilize a lot of our great talent on Dark. And I think we could definitely expand our programming. I don't think we'll have shows like these particular big four pay-per-views, but there are other platforms and other shows we'll develop for sure. Thanks.
Thanks, Tony. Next up is AJ from the AJ Awesome Show.
Oh, hey, AJ.
AJ.
How are you? Sorry to keep you up so late. I hope you liked the show, man.
I loved it.
Great. It's good to hear from you. So what can I do for you? What do you want to know?
AEW Games announced an event next week. Can you give any major or non-major spoilers about it?
I can't say too much. We're making multiple games. We're working on more than one game at AEW Games, and we're going to cater to different platforms. We're going to cater to different kinds of games and different interests. I think we'll put a title out that's a console game that is best in class console game. We're really excited about it. We have some big surprises to come in 2020. I just can't say that enough, that there's still time in 2020. This show was great, but there's still going to be a lot to come this year, and that can impact our video game plans. And I think also we're going to put something out that's for those people like myself that love putting wrestling cards together, and it'll allow somebody to do the job I do, which be the general manager of AEW and book cards. So that'll be fun. And there's going to be a few different titles, and then I don't think we're going to stop there either. I think we're going to look to expand at AEW Games, because it's a great chance to build AEW and introduce gaming fans to AEW and introduce AEW to gaming fans, and expand and build a business. So there's a lot to come there for sure. I'm glad you asked. It's a great question, AJ. I'm glad you like the show too. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Tony. We're going to try Izzy from the hot tag again. We had some little muting issues earlier, but we're going to really hope that Izzy can get through. Izzy,
Great.
you want to give it a shot?
Hey, Izzy. And I'm in no rush here, by the way. You guys, I can take some questions. It's a great question so far. It's a great show. So I want to make sure, hopefully at least most of you get your questions. So Izzy, are you there?
No, it looks like we're still having issues on Izzy's side, so.
Sorry, Izzy. Hopefully catch you soon.
All right, okay, Izzy, we'll do our best, Izzy. Okay, next up is Sean Radican from Pro Wrestling Torch. Sean?
Hey, Sean.
Hey Tony, how are you?
Quite well, thanks, man. Thank you for coming to the scrum. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Great, great, man.
Uh, really enjoyed the show. I want one question I really want to ask you is, all this young talent got from the indies got a crack on this show. Sammy Guevara against Matt Hardy at the Compound, Eddie Kingston versus Moxley, MJF against Jericho, Darby, Cody, even Cassie versus Silver was quite popular on the independent scene recently. What was it like for you to I know Cody helps you out with you guys work together, bring the independent talent into the company, but what was it like for you to see this talent come and be such a almost every match, be a staple of the card and not only be a staple, but, deliver against big established names?
Well, thanks, man. I thought for sure a lot of the talent when we started AEW, a lot of the talent had been established and had a lot of TV experience, and then there was a lot of the roster that had not worked on television a lot. And now that Dynamite's been on over a year and we've been doing pay-per-views for nearly a year and a half, I think that the roster's built a lot of experience, and a lot of the people you've talked about have accumulated a lot of experience working on TV. What was great about tonight also was, and I hope it came across on TV, the crowd was really hot, and here it certainly came across live, and I've heard it came across on TV, but that was the biggest crowd we've had, and it was totally safe in terms of physical distancing between the pods, putting people in socially distanced pods and spacing them out. We enforced mask wearing when people were not eating their food or drinking their drink that they had gotten there or brought in. And so I think that it was, that added to the show a lot too. The independents, I love independent wrestling. I have for a long time. It's not just Cody. I mean, Cody, the Young Bucks, Kenny, they all scout the independents. Cody's been a very prolific talent scout, as have the Young Bucks, great eyes for talent, and Kenny Omega's a great eye for talent. Jericho recommends great people, and we've had a lot of great recommendations. But absolutely on the independents, I have worked with Cody on it, and on the TNT titles, there were some really good names on the independents. And there's some names on the independents that, aren't as good, to be honest with you. And it's a fine line, and I think we've done really well. And it's batted a really high average with the people we have brought in and had some success stories. And Eddie Kingston's another great example. But we've done well with it, and I think we're fortunate that we have some great people that are great eyes for talent, and that we've found some great talent that have developed into national wrestling stars and built a reputation on television. And it's a pleasure. I really enjoy putting the show together with this group of people. It's fun. And now we have this roster, a lot of people that are established on television, before they got here, and a lot of people that are established here, that have established here. And I think we've shown that we can build homegrown stars, as we talked about. So definitely, Sean, it's great to see. I take a lot of pride in developing the stars we built here. It's a great part of the storytelling we do, and it also is good for the company and good for our future. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sean.
Next question is from John. Next question is from John Alba at Spectrum Sports. John?
Hey,
Tony,
John.
great to chat with you as always. Great show tonight.
Thanks. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Cody talked a lot about this the other day on the conference call on how personal you've taken this partnership with Billy Corgan and NWA and bringing this talent in, giving them a platform and enhancing your talent. At the same time, we've also seen there's been some start-stop with the AEW women's division. So what kind of effort is there being made right now to build congruency between the NWA and AEW women's division and maximize opportunities for your female talent?
Well, I think it's a great question. It's Serena Deeb, who's a full-time AEW wrestler and a really important part of our roster, is the NWA Women's World Champion. So, I mean, there was definitely a relationship, and there's definitely a good chance you're going to see the NWA title defended here, but the AEW women's title is still our top priority. And we have a great women's champion in Hikaru Shida. She's defended the title against many top contenders, and I think there's still some good matches in front of her, but I thought the match she had tonight was excellent. So I think, one thing is people say that, and I understand what people are saying. about the division. I probably, and I should have probably done better to put some of Nyla's story when she said she wasn't going to wrestle again, and Vicky had said she wasn't going to wrestle again until they got the title shot. I should have used that on Dynamite more. I watched Dark very closely and worked on Dark very closely and booked Dark, so I'm obviously watching Dark, but I forget sometimes that there's about half the audience watches Dark for us typically. If we do, typically we'll do, say, in the overall audience, 800 to a million in the P2, on a good week, and 400 to plus in the demo. I think that the Dark is probably, I want to say, about half of that. And I think it's a good audience that we built, and it's a great show. But I probably should have put that on. And then, to be honest, the time in the real world, Vicky was not able to come those weeks, not because she was sick, but because it was a conflict that she always had. And so I gave her that time off, and it was, I probably should have made it clear. There's a lot to putting the shows together, and I'm glad they had a great match tonight. And but I understood what people were saying. When Sheeta accepted the challenge, because there was supposed to be some time for Sheeta to wait to accept the challenge for when Vicky was coming back, so Vicky and Nyla could have the rebuttal that they had this past week. So anyway, that's I hear you on that. I think that definitely our women's title is our top priority, but Serena is one of our best women's wrestlers, and she is the NWA champion. I have been working with Billy and booking the matches here with the NWA title with him. And, I book all of our matches, and whether it's with other companies or just our own wrestlers. So it's I enjoy working with Billy, and I've enjoyed working with Dorian and AAA in the past. And, it was good to get Don here from Impact. So we've sent wrestlers to New Japan many times. So I've done stuff with a lot of people, and it won't be the last time, but definitely I consider Sheeta and the AEW women's title our top priority, and Serena's definitely somebody to keep an eye on as one of our top stars. And I hope you enjoyed the scrum with her tonight. I sent her in here after her big win, and I thought she'd be a very good person for you guys to interview.
Thanks, Tony. Next up is Jim Barcelone from Miami Herald. Jim?
Thank you. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. It's great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, first, I'll try to make it quick, but first I got to say, thank you and AEW for AEW Dark and what you're doing for the indie wrestlers on that show. It's an awesome show, so thank you for that. Now, Full Gear. Yes, of course. Full Gear. It's so interesting because that first match you didn't buy in with Deeb, and then you go to Paige and Omega, and they hit it. They both matches. And you get Cassidy Silver, they hit it. And the Young Bucks said earlier, it was like, man, we're watching the show and everybody's hitting, and we got to step up. We got to step up. What was it like for you in deciding and your team in the match order and that putting that match order like that and how it worked? I mean, it really worked well, but what did you think?
It came out great. They came out great. We hit home run after home run, and it was a really fun show to put together. And I thought it went as well as it possibly could have. I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was the best wrestling show I've seen in a long time. And it didn't feel like a COVID era show. It felt like, for a lot of us, like being back at the peak. So that was pretty awesome. Thanks for asking. It was great to do. And thanks for mentioning Dark too. It's a pleasure. I do love having a chance to scout top independent wrestlers. And it's also great to give the independent wrestlers work, because the independent wrestling scene has been hit very hard. So I know a lot of those people appreciate it. And we found some people that we really depend on here, people that have gotten pushes and become a whole part of the show and gotten signed. So I think Dark is a great chance for us to develop people, and it's a great show. And we're always looking to expand our content. And I think Dark's been a real success for us.
Thanks. So last question of the night for Tony is from Joe Staszewski from the New York Post. Joe?
Hey, Tony.
Hey,
congratulations. Obviously, we waited a long time for this FTR Young Bucks match. One, can you talk about the story that those guys told out there tonight, and just Matt being able to kind of working through this injury right now?
Matt and Nick Jackson and FTR are four brilliant storytellers. And I thought that was one of the best tag team matches you're ever going to see. And I'm so proud that we had that on Full Gear and to have that match in front of a great crowd here in Jacksonville. It was, all the tag teams, it was like a love letter to tag team wrestling. All the tag team finishes that they hit, in all the storytelling of the selling of Matt's injury, Nick's great hot tag, the way the crowd was just red hot, and then FTR, just absolute best heel tag team in the world. And it was just so fun, the dichotomy of these teams, and it's a dream match. It's been built up so long, and it was so emotional. And again, I'm so glad that it happened in front of the biggest crowd we've had since the pandemic started, close to 1,000 people, not including all the staff and extras and stuff. So I really appreciate you asking about it, because I love to heap praise on that match also, and heap praise on Matt and Nick and FTR for putting that together, because it was really special. And the pop that the Bucks got at the end says it all. I mean, it was a testament to them and how much people wanted to see them win the championships. And I'm glad that it came out that way. And we've been building to Matt and Nick becoming the champions for a long time. And it's been a long time coming here, and it's been over a year since we did the tag team tournament, and Matt and Nick got knocked out in the first round, just been close to 13 months ago by Private Party. And since then, it's been a great journey for them to get here. FTR were such a huge signing for us. We've signed some great wrestlers in 2020, including FTR. And I think, I was just really, really pleased with it. I hope everyone else really loved it too. And it just felt like we said in the previous question, you just hit home run after home run out there. And that was really special. So thank you so much. Thanks for asking about it. Thanks, Joe. I hope I got to most people's questions. I just really appreciate everybody. It's been a crazy year, and it sounds like everybody really liked the show from what I'm hearing. And thank you guys. I always really appreciate everyone who comes to these, and thanks for supporting AEW, or at least following AEW and covering us. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Mandy, for hosting this. And everyone, I hope you have a good night and good rest of your weekend.